We've been in New York for like 3 days now. We just got off the subway. This is our last place we're stopping at before we leave. This is my first time ever in New York and first time ever in Times Square. It's kind of intense. There's so many TVs. Do you think people sometimes take it like, or take for granted their surroundings? Someone probably like myself.
Why would you take it for granted? Like, what do you mean?
I guess just because I might not be able to understand, kind of comprehend what you go through.
But you have compassion for what I'm saying. Do you feel you don't understand maybe, but you feel everything? Yeah. So
just describe for me where you live and just kind of the environment of where you live right now.
Wow, a lot of violence, a lot of killings, young kids that murder, that are murderers, that carry guns, dirty, bad schools. I mean, you call the cops. I mean, by the time they get there, it's ridiculous.
Do you have kids?
Two. In private school. This is why I work the way that I work. You got pregnant teenagers, from 14, 15, just pregnant girls, prior to seeing that. If a lot of our kids are dying, if a lot of our kids are winding up in jail, I mean, what do you do? Just go, you know how many funerals? For a week?
Really?
One of my clients, her brother preached 4 in one day. 4. Do you think I want my kids to really even go anywhere? But what can you do? Keep them locked up too? They say, you don't ever let me do any. But that's the reality. This is real life in the city. This is our first black mayor, okay? And like before, we've always had problems. So I guess maybe he'll make a difference. He seems to have more compassion. And if you put your compassion first and politics maybe a little to the side, then I think, it'll be a difference, it'll be some help. I'm sure that there are people that can identify with what I'm saying. A lot of single parents in inner cities trying to raise their kids through the environment, through the pressures of the environment. And I guess not giving up, not giving up and believing in something other than just what you see, what would be miraculous? Like, if it changed someone's mind or thinking that it doesn't have to be this way.
Well, I do hope things change, but I trust it will change because it can't keep going like this.
Realize that you don't have to be a rocket scientist or some master brain person to make a difference in the world.
All different cultures and races bury the past wounds and build a new future for this country.
You can learn a lot from seeing people that are not like you. You learn a lot from seeing how they live, and you get a more open mind, and you become a more educated person, less ignorant.
It's amazing. It really is, because first of all, the project has given kids something new to look at from their everyday life of seeing, drugs, crime, and that kind of thing. That's everyday life for the kids in this community. But just to go back historically a little bit, you're standing in one of the oldest African-American communities in the city of Detroit. Currently, the African-American male mortality rate in this particular community is 55%. Also, at the rate that the housing stock is disappearing, the last house will be left standing in 2014.
My name is Tyreek Guyton, and I am the creator and the founder of the Heidelberg Project.
So he started with one house, crack, prostitution, all of this going on right in the house. And he decided he'd just go out and start cleaning up his paintbrushes.
My job is to educate people who don't understand, and I think it has a lot to do with ignorance.
People come here, they don't know what to expect. And if you just look at it on first glance, you're just like, what the hell? But there's a lot of symbolism in the work. So silly things are really made quite thought-provoking. Right back behind me here, you'll see the images, the faces, all painted on car hoods, and they're known as faces in the hood. This being a heavily industrious town, that is becoming no more. And so we're looking for what is our new industry going to be. And I believe firmly that it's in the talent and the art and the culture of the city. So this is a way of just taking those old parts and really just kind of sending a message to the automobile industry. What now?
The whole state of Michigan's not doing so great. What is it, 35% unemployment, I think? Name's Tim Burke. I live on Heidelberg Street, and yet my art is separate from Heidelberg Project. I don't know, I have a hard time letting go. I don't like seeing things destroyed that are beautiful.
Would you say Detroit is a beautiful city?
Definitely, it's beautifully gritty. It's gritty, and it's a beautiful city. I thrive on it. What others say is valueless, I would say don't necessarily believe that. If you can find value in something, let it be your own value that you place on it.
Pretty soon you're going to have just a complete urban prairie. Well, then what happens to the residents who live here now? Where are they going to go? So it's a way to help the community get back on its feet and not rely so heavily on government. What can we do for ourselves? How can we take nothing and make something from it? And that's what we've done here.
Some people will look at this and say it's junk. Others will say, oh, wow, that's really cool. A lot of people respond to this type of artwork. So before you throw something out, think about it. Maybe it can be reused.
But the symbolism and the message behind that is that he was taking those things that had been discarded, picking them up, dusting them off, adding color, and then they come back to life. So that's symbolic of a community. Sometimes we discard people, but they have something else now to think about other than just existing in hopelessness.